In the icy wilderness of Nome, Alaska, a chilling tale lurks, whispered only in hushed tones. Nome, the frozen frontier, is often synonymous with gold rushes and dog sled races. But beneath its icy exterior lies a mystery as cold as its winter temperatures, a mystery shrouded in the shadows of the aurora borealis that dance across its skies. Nome, you see, carries a reputation for the unusual, the inexplicable, the eerie. Over the years, this remote outpost has become a hot spot for strange occurrences. Stories abound of inexplicable lights, bizarre encounters, and most chilling of all, tales of people vanishing into the thin, frosty air. The native residents, the Inupiaq people, have whispered about these unusual events for generations, their stories passed down like heirlooms, each one more bone-chilling than the last. But what if these weren't just tall tales spun around campfires to ward off the biting cold? What if there was a darker secret lurking in the shadows of the vast Alaskan wilderness? Today we delve into this enigma, this chilling tale of Nome, Alaska. We will journey into the heart of this frozen frontier, peeling back the layers of folklore to reveal a dark secret that has been hidden for too long. We invite you to keep an open mind, to suspend disbelief as we delve into this deep, icy mystery. Because sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. And in the case of Nome, Alaska, it just might be more chilling than you could ever imagine. So brace yourselves. Nome, a frozen frontier, harbors a secret that has baffled the world for decades. Nestled on the edge of the Bering Sea, Nome, Alaska, is a place of stark beauty and relentless cold. It's a land cloaked in snow for most of the year, where the sun can disappear for weeks on end. Nome is a town that was born out of the gold rush at the turn of the 20th century, where prospectors braved the harsh conditions in search of their fortunes. Today, it's a community of just over 3,000 souls who face the daily challenges of isolation and extreme weather. Here, the nearest major city is over 500 miles away, and the only way in or out for most of the year is by plane. The local inhabitants, a mix of native Inupiat Eskimos and those of European descent, are hardy and resilient, living off the land and sea. But Nome is not just a place of rugged, natural beauty and tough inhabitants. It's also a place shrouded in mystery, a place where strange things happen, tales of individuals who have vanished without a trace, only to reappear with no memory of where they've been. Stories of strange lights in the sky and whispers of otherworldly visitors. The local people have their theories, passed down through generations, of beings from the stars visiting their remote corner of the world. Outsiders, too, have been drawn to Nome, lured by the enigmatic tales and the tantalizing possibility of extraterrestrial contact. Nome, the frozen frontier, is more than just a place of ice and snow. It's a place where the lines between reality and the inexplicable blur, where the veil between our world and the unknown seems perilously thin. The year 1961 marked the beginning of an unsettling pattern. In the heart of this remote frontier, a humble fisherman named John, a man as sturdy and weather-beaten as the landscape around him, became the first to report an encounter of the third kind. It was a night much like any other, the frosty silence broken only by the occasional howl of the wind. John was returning home from a long day at sea, the moon casting a ghostly glow on the snow-covered ground. Suddenly, an intense beam of light descended from the sky, bathing everything in a surreal, otherworldly glow. John was paralyzed, not by fear, but by an unseen force, a force that seemed to beckon him towards the mysterious light. Before he could comprehend what was happening, he found himself being lifted off the ground, drawn towards a colossal, silhouetted object hovering in the sky. The next thing he remembered was waking up in his own bed with no recollection of how he got there and a strange circular mark on his arm. As news of John's experience spread through the town, fear and curiosity mingled in the frosty air. His story was met with skepticism, disbelief, and in some cases, outright ridicule. He knew what he had experienced was real, even if he couldn't fully understand it. His account, while chilling, was just the first in what would become a series of inexplicable events. Stories of strange lights, missing time, and bizarre markings began to circulate. Little did the inhabitants know, this was only the beginning. Whispers of strange lights in the sky and inexplicable encounters with unknown entities spread like wildfire. The reports of abductions became more frequent, more disturbing, and far too real to ignore. In the beginning, it was the occasional missing hunter or the odd traveler who vanished without a trace. Then the numbers began to rise. Soon the disappearances were not just isolated incidents, but a chilling pattern. People from all walks of life, young and old, locals and outsiders, started to disappear, only to reappear with tales of terrifying experiences and lost time. Their memories a jigsaw puzzle of unsettling images and sounds. The townsfolk began to live in the shadow of a growing fear. The once bustling streets of Nome grew silent as dusk fell, the darkness bringing with it an air of suspense and uncertainty. The local authorities were at a loss. How could they protect their town from something they couldn't even comprehend? The federal agencies took notice, their curiosity piqued by the flurry of reports coming from this remote corner of the world. But all their investigations led to dead ends. Their inquiries met with walls of silence and fear. And so the disappearances continued, the mystery deepening with each passing year. Nome, the town that was once a beacon for fortune seekers during the gold rush, was now known for something far more sinister. The gold had long since dried up, but the fear, the chilling tales, and the unsolved mysteries persisted. Nome was now on the map, not for its gold, but its inexplicable disappearances. The unseen visitors left no trace except for the terrified witnesses and their haunting tales. Now we delve into some of the most unnerving accounts. The tales might be different, the narrators unique, yet they all share a terrifying truth. They've been visited by entities beyond our understanding. Take the tale of an old fisherman, for instance. An ordinary night, he said, turned extraordinary when he found himself inexplicably drawn towards the frigid ocean. He spoke of a blinding light, an overwhelming force, and then nothingness. When he came to, he was miles away from his boat, with no recollection of how he got there. Then there was the account of a young woman, a school teacher, who woke up one morning in a state of utter distress. She vividly described waking up in an unfamiliar place, surrounded by beings with eyes that shone brighter than the Alaskan stars. She too had a missing time episode with no memory of how she ended up back in her home. A local hunter too spoke of being transported to a place that was not of this world. He recounted feelings of weightlessness, of seeing the earth from afar, and of being probed by beings that communicated without words. They speak of experiences that defy our understanding of reality. No physical evidence, no identifiable patterns, and yet the stories persist. The people of Nome live with an unsettling reality. They are not alone. The stories, though diverse, had a common thread, a sense of dread, confusion, and an eerie feeling of being watched. The local authorities were baffled, leading to an investigation that only deepened the mystery. The Nome investigation, a deep dive into the unknown, a quest for answers that seemed to evade the grasp of the most seasoned detectives. With the disappearance rate in Nome skyrocketing, the local law enforcement was at its wits' end. The mystery was as thick as the Alaskan frost and just as cold. The local police, the state troopers, even the FBI, all were brought in to unravel the enigma. Each abduction case was meticulously scrutinized. Witnesses were interviewed, homes inspected, and every possible lead chased. Yet the harder they looked, the murkier the waters became. The common thread connecting these cases was the inexplicable. Stories of strange lights, lost time, and eerie figures that defied logic. The official report of the investigation was a tome of uncertainties. It was filled with hypotheses, conjectures, and suppositions, but concrete answers were conspicuously absent. The most unsettling part was the inexplicability of it all. There were no signs of struggle, no traces of forced entry, no evidence of any conventional crime. It was as if the victims had simply vanished into thin air, leaving no clue as to their fate. The investigators worked tirelessly, leaving no stone unturned. The more they unearthed, the less they understood. The investigation was a labyrinth with no exit, a puzzle with missing pieces. It was a mystery that seemed to mock the very notion of resolution. In the end, the investigation was like groping in the dark. The authorities were forced to admit that they were dealing with something beyond their comprehension, something that transcended the boundaries of known science and conventional wisdom. The inquiry ended, leaving behind more questions than answers. In the face of the inexplicable, the world divided into skeptics and believers. As the chilling tales of alien abductions in Nome, Alaska swirled around, they stirred a pot of mixed reactions. On one side, the skeptics, equipped with their logical reasoning and scientific methodologies, dismissed the occurrences as mere hallucinations or misinterpretations. They argued, can we trust the human mind, susceptible to illusions and influence? The skeptics pointed to the harsh weather conditions, the isolation, and the psychological stress of living in such extreme environments as potential triggers for these so-called alien encounters. They questioned the lack of concrete evidence. Where are the physical traces? The claw marks, the spacecraft debris, the alien DNA? The skeptics demanded tangible proof, a universal requirement in the realm of science. On the other hand, the believers, fueled by a sense of wonder and a longing for the unknown, embraced the idea of alien abductions. They argued that the sheer number of testimonies and the similarities in the abduction accounts could not be mere coincidence. They pointed to the ancient cave paintings and age-old folklore, suggesting that humans have been experiencing these encounters for millennia. Believers asked, "Are we so arrogant to believe that we are the only intelligent life in the vast cosmos?" They argued that our understanding of the universe is still in its infancy, and what we perceive as impossible today might become probable tomorrow. The skeptics and believers, each armed with their own perspectives, continued their tug of war, pulling the mystery of Nome abductions into the limelight of public scrutiny. The debate raged on, but Nome remained trapped in its icy enigma. As we delve deeper, a shocking truth begins to emerge. We're at a crossroads where fact and fiction intertwine, where the unbelievable becomes believable. Yet, as we sift through the evidence, a few theories stand out. Our first theory is that we're dealing with extraterrestrial beings. The possibility of aliens visiting Earth has been a subject of debate for decades. Reports of strange lights in the sky, unexplained phenomena, and the peculiar nature of these disappearances lend some weight to this theory. Could it be that these abductions are the work of beings from another world, studying us as we study lesser-known species? Yet there's another theory that's equally compelling. Some believe that the abductions are the result of a government conspiracy. The lack of concrete evidence, the dismissal of eyewitness accounts, and the hushed whispers of cover-ups all point to a potential hidden agenda. Then we have the skeptics who argue that these abductions are merely the result of mass hysteria. A small town, isolated in the heart of Alaska, might be prone to such psychological phenomena. But could an entire town be hallucinating the same terrifying encounters? And finally, there's the theory that we're dealing with a yet unknown natural phenomenon. Alaska is a land of extreme weather and magnetic anomalies. Could these abductions be the result of some unexplored scientific event? Each theory is as intriguing as the next, and none can be definitively proven or disproven. After all, we're dealing with a mystery that's as vast as the Alaskan wilderness itself. But as we continue to search for answers, one thing becomes clear. The truth, as they say, is often stranger than fiction. Nome, Alaska, once a bustling hub during the gold rush era, has over the years transformed into a land of enigma, an epicenter of inexplicable disappearances and strange occurrences. The chilling tales of alien abduction have become an integral part of the town's folklore, an indelible mark on its historical tapestry. Despite the passage of time, the eerie silence that envelops the town is occasionally punctuated by whispers and rumors. The stories have attracted curious minds from around the globe, transforming Nome from a forgotten frontier town to a global hotspot for alien enthusiasts and researchers. The abductions, the strange lights, the unexplained phenomena all remain shrouded in an enigma that time has yet to unravel. But as we conclude, we must ask ourselves, what is the reality of alien abductions? Is it a construct of the human psyche, a manifestation of our collective fears and curiosities? Or is it a tangible phenomenon, a testament to the existence of life beyond our world? In the end, whether you believe it or not, the mystery of Nome, Alaska continues to intrigue and terrify us all. Thank you for watching Time Pilgrimage. And as always, please remember to subscribe, like, and comment. If there is a topic that you would like to explore, please drop a comment.